Welcome back to another episode of MJ Fangirl. It's me, MJ Fangirl, and today we're going to be doing just a really chatty episode, kind of like reintroducing myself to some of you guys. Um, I've been doing YouTube now for almost 8 years, and so yes, a lot of you guys know me from here, but I've also started posting on Facebook a lot, as well as posting on podcast platforms. And I've been posting lots of interviews and chats and discussions about Michael Jackson, like deep dives. And so I wanted to take the chance today for you guys to ask some questions and for you guys to get to know me. And I have a whole bunch of submitted questions that I'm going to be answering. These are questions that I've compiled throughout the years, actually. Things that I always get asked a lot. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to actually answer these questions for you guys and tell you guys a little bit about myself, how I became a Michael Jackson fan, how I made the shift to being a Michael Jackson historian, a little bit about me and my personal life here in California, some of my other interests. And then we'll get into like some more like controversial topics that I usually don't talk about on here. So let's get into these questions. So the first one is, when did you fall in love with Michael Jackson and his music? When did your fandom start? So for me, my fandom started when I was really young. Like, I was introduced to Michael Jackson probably when I was like 3 or 4. My dad is a fan. He's been on the channel recently. Shout out to you. And he had like a poster of Michael Jackson in my childhood bedroom, like Billie Jean poster, all that. Used to introduce me to a lot of music, actually. Not just Michael Jackson, but Michael was who I gravitated towards. And so I always really had like that affinity and love for Motown and 70s soul and 80s music. And I just loved a lot of music as a kid. And when I was in middle school, I actually discovered the Jackson's American Dream movie. So I always had a thing for the 70s, but I really loved the Jackson 5. That was like my thing. The Jackson 5, the Jacksons, like that was my era. I would say I became a Michael Jackson fan after watching the Jackson's American Dream, because that kind of gave me a closer look into who Michael Jackson was as a person and his thought process and some of the things he had gone through and triumphed over. And I found his spirit to be really like someone that I felt like a lot in common with, almost like the way he went about life and some of his philosophies and some of his like childlike nature, but also his determination to overcome certain things. And I really loved that. And it inspired me as a kid. And so that's when I really started to look up Michael Jackson and go on the forums, join the AOL chat rooms, the Michael Jackson fan clubs, start going to events and stuff like that in my early teens. And then when I was 14, I did see him live in 2001. So for everyone that is curious about that, I saw him live in concert once, September 10th, 2001. And I was 14. It was like my fourth day of high school. Next day, sadly, was September 11th. I'm a native New Yorker, so I lived in Queens, went to school also around there. So I was very like excited to have Michael like in my backyard, basically, like in my hometown. Drive over the bridge, park your car. You're like a couple blocks, you're right there, you know? So I was really fortunate to have had that, because I don't think I would have been able to see Michael if not. My parents were not about to like let me go and travel and fly to go anywhere to go see Michael at that age. So I'm grateful that I was born during the Invincible era. I mean, that I was teenage age during the Invincible era. Someone asked, what's a Michael Jackson fact or story that you love to share but feel like not enough people know about? That's a really good one. Well, I feel like a lot of people don't know about how Michael was influenced by moments, popular culture moments, by other artists. Like, I think there are a lot of stories out there that have to do with like Michael and being influenced by certain artists or certain songs and then going on to create his own versions. Like, of course, when I think about him and like, you know, his love even for like all around entertainers like James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Sammy Davis, like Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, like these are people that were multi-talented, and he kind of like he gravitated towards a lot of their work, and certain things he actually took and like really made his own version of. One of them is like the Bandwagon and how that influenced Smooth Criminal. And that is something that I think a lot of people don't know about. And it was actually confirmed by Eddie Garcia, who I interviewed earlier this year. And he was like, we watched the Bandwagon and actually like pointed out like, okay, this is going to be you. This is going to be you. Like the different characters. And like Michael was really influenced by musicals. He loved musicals and he kind of wanted to bring that back, which he did when he did Smooth Criminal. So stories like that I really love. And that's why I started doing interviews, because I felt like instead of me just doing like the whole hearsay thing, like why not get the people that were actually involved in these projects? And so, yeah, that is leading into the next question. How do you balance being both a super fan and a historian when you're making content? Great question. So, right now, being a fan for me has taken a bit of a back seat. And not to say that I'm not a Michael Jackson fan, because I'm always a Michael Jackson fan and I love Michael Jackson. But right now, at this season of my life, I'm more focused on spreading the word about good stories and positive moments that have to do with his legacy. So like that's why I've made the shift from like going to fan events and traveling and showing vlogs with my friends. Like obviously I was born and raised in New York. I lived there for 30 something years, and then I moved here 5 years ago to California, to LA. And I really felt like I was going to continue doing all those things, you know, even though my girlfriends were all in New York. Those are the main people that I went to events with since like 2010, 11. I've been going to events with them for 10 years, you know, and then it kind of abruptly stopped because I moved out here. But then it was really cool because all of them are really like big travelers. So we would meet up at like different events still. We went to the Vegas Sapphire celebration. They've come here to LA for various events. But now I'm at a point where I just like, I'm not that enthusiastic as I used to be about that. It could just be like my season in life right now where I love events. Don't get me wrong, and I love being around the fans, but it's different for me. I don't have my girlfriends around. I have been to so many events. Like I've been to Michael Jackson events even when he was alive still. And so for me, like almost 20 years later, if you're thinking about when I first started becoming a fan, like heavy into the actual community, I just am more concerned about now spreading those positive stories about his legacy and his contribution to the world. Not that there's anything wrong with going to events. That's just a season that I'm in now. Like there was a season where I wanted to do reactions, where I just wanted to share like clips that people had never seen. And then I got tired of it. I think we all have to like evolve. And so for me right now, like I'm not really enjoying the event and travel thing. I will still go to like major events and I want to be a part of important movements. But that's just where I'm at. So that's why you've seen less vlogs, although I did just post a vlog. By the time you're seeing this, I would have just posted a vlog to the YouTube channel, MJ Fangirl TV. So if you guys are listening, you should go and check out the actual video that I posted of me at the Heal Los Angeles Foundation's event. the King of Popcorn, which I think is their last King of Popcorn ever. That's where they hold like a movie showing at Hayvenhurst to benefit Prince Jackson's foundation. So I used to go to those events. I used to go to a lot more events. Last year I didn't go to any King of Popcorns just because I'd done it already. But I was able to go this year, and I'm grateful that I was able to go to the last one. So I did share that vlog. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, I highly recommend that you go check that out. And then I have a whole playlist of like travel. So you can check out things that I've done through the years. And so, yeah, I feel like that's exciting to share the past with people who are interested in the travel thing, because a lot of these events are just the same as they've always been. But then at the same time, like, I also am excited to share like the evolution and like the new things that I'm doing with the channel. And a lot of people have said that they've liked it. So you can leave a comment down below on what you enjoy, because I'm enjoying the season right now. Okay. If you had a chance to meet Michael, what is the very first thing you'd talk to him about? So yeah, I've never met Michael Jackson. I would love to like, I don't think like a book signing or something like that, or like a quick meet and greet would cut it for me. Like, I would want to have a real conversation, but I think I would just tell him thank you. Like, thank you for making music that connects with so many people, including me, and that has connected me to so many amazing people. Like, that's just really, really cool. And I really appreciate his sacrifice, because it was a sacrifice for him to be the king of pop. And, you know, he had to give up a lot and sacrifice a lot of his life. And so I appreciate that sacrifice. And I appreciate him for doing the best he could with, you know, with his career and reaching out to fans and being a humanitarian. Like, I think that those are all really admirable things. So that's what I would say. If you could go back in time to see one MJ concert, which tour or show are you picking and why? I think for me it'd be a tie between the Dangerous tour live in Bucharest, because I just love that like DVD, that show, like that HBO special. Like, I love it. So I'd love to be there, like front row, checking that out in person. And then I would really love to go to the Triumph tour, because like I said, I was always a Jacksons fan, and I grew up listening to the Jacksons live album. If you guys have not listened to the Jacksons live album, I will link it in the Spotify episode. The Jacksons live album by the Jacksons, hands down, like the best, one of the best live albums. And people always get on like this thing about like, oh, Michael never did a live album. You need to check that one out, because that's really good. He not only did some of his solo hits, but some of the best like Jackson's hits that we all love, like everybody loves the Triumph album. And so I think that's a really good one for everybody to check out if they haven't. He also sings like Ben, Jackson 5 hits, and then solo hits from the Off the Wall album. It's really, really good. It's really good. So check that out. Now I'm going to answer just some other personal questions, and then we'll get back to the Michael questions later on. Where were you born and raised? New York City. Do you think your hometown influenced the way you see Michael Jackson? I don't think so. I think like, well, maybe. Well, I don't know if it was my hometown, but I think my upbringing, you know, like so I am Black American. I was born to Black American parents in the city, and I grew up like looking at Michael Jackson like a hero, you know, like looking at someone like that was an amazing representative and someone for me to aspire to be like. Because now things are so much more like diverse on TV and diversity here and there and everywhere. And like, even when I was younger, because I'm 38 now, so even when I was younger, I didn't really see like, I don't know, I feel like Michael Jackson was just like a great ambassador, not only of like the Black American community, but also like America in general. And so maybe that influenced the way I saw him, because I I really like admired his triumph and like way he was able to become the best. What was my first ever concert experience? Was it Michael Jackson or someone else? Surprisingly, it was TLC. I went to the fan mail tour. I think that was also in 2001, or maybe it was 2000 or 99. I don't know, but I went with my dad and we had really good seats. We had really good seats for that one and it was fun. Like I really enjoyed it. So that was really cool. But then my second concert was Michael Jackson, I think. Not too long after. Did your family introduce you to Michael's music or did you discover him on your own? I already kind of covered this, but my dad is a fan and that's how I discovered him. I mean, my mom is a fan too. Like, I think in their generation, everybody was a fan and like grew up with Michael Jackson. So yeah. Let's see. What is a childhood memory that shaped the way you create today? So this is a good question because I was always like someone that loved like the talent shows and like making up dances and songs. And I remember like everyone was doing a dance to Gangsta's Paradise. This is in middle school. Gangsta or fourth grade, maybe? Everybody was doing a dance to Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. That was like the song. And I wanted to get a bunch of girls together. So I got 3 other girls and we did a dance to Janet Jackson Control. And that was super fun. And I think my dad might have helped us choreograph it like we did. And then we got help. Like it was just really cute. And then in high school, I did like the whole like dress up like Michael Jackson thing. And I did like the Dangerous live dance. And I didn't do great. But I think that kind of like showed people that I was like entertaining in some way. And I never was like shamed or anything for like showing my love for older artists or like artists of yesteryear. Like at that time, obviously, early 2000s, right? Michael and Janet were not like, I mean, they were still making music, don't get me wrong. They were more like 80s, 90s stars, you know? And like people were more into like current hip hop and all that. And I was doing other things and I felt like that really showed me like, okay, there are people out here that appreciate this. And so when I create, I always try to think about, you know, there might be another person out there that's listening that might enjoy or appreciate what I'm bringing to the table. What, besides Michael Jackson, what other artists or music do you listen to? Okay. I really like, number one, I like pop music a lot. So if you ask me like some of my favorite artists, I'll tell you like Mariah Carey, I'll tell you Rihanna, I'll tell you Beyonce, even though I know she's like a bunch of genres. Not actually, you know what though? Not really Beyonce lately. I've liked all her, like B-Day, like the Beyonce album. Like I like her up until a certain point, like right before Lemonade. And then Lemonade is where I kind of dropped off. I'm not even going to lie to you. I like more like carefree, happy music when it comes to her. But at the same time, like if I'm going to listen to a ballad, like I'm going to listen to Celine Dion, you know what I mean? And that's just how I've always been. I love Whitney. In terms of current music, I do listen to hip hop. I'll listen to like Chris Brown. I'll listen to, you know, at a certain point, I loved the Migos music and the sound that they had, that Atlanta, those beats and stuff. Like I like hip hop. That's like kind of what I grew up on, hip hop and R&B and 70s soul. Love all the Motown hits, but I would say for the most part, if I'm in the car, I'm listening to pop music. I'll listen to some Ariana Grande. I'll listen to some Backstreet, some NSYNC. What can I say? It's the millennial in me. I'll listen to some Janet, All For You album. Okay. What's something you love doing when you're not working on videos or podcasts? Okay, so so there are a bunch of questions that are kind of related. So I'll answer them all in one. What's something you love doing when you're not working on video and podcasts? And what's a book or podcast you recommend outside of MJ content? So I have two things that I really like doing recently. One of the things that I like doing, but I'm not doing enough, is my Peloton. Like, I do love my Peloton, and I love exercise, and I love walking. Like, I've kind of started listening to podcasts more because I've enjoyed like that walking, and just like having that time to enjoy nature and then just like listen to something. Some of my favorite podcasts now, I'm like, which ones do I like? Okay, let me actually open my app so I can tell you some of what I listen to. Okay, so I listen to a lot of like, I like finance podcasts. I listen to Higher Learning with Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay. I listen to Dr. Laura Call the Day podcast, Deep Dive podcast. I listen to the Think Media podcast. I listen to a couple of parenting podcasts, the Money with Katie show, and Financial Feminist, Simple Farmhouse Life. Like, I just have like, sounds like a cult. Like, I just have like such a wide array of like interests. It's so funny because like one of the things I love to do is watch YouTube, but I watch YouTube with family vlogs of people that like, it's never going to be my experience. People that are living like a homesteading life. They have like 6 to 9 kids. They're making food from scratch, sourdough, homeschooling, all the things. And like, I think secretly, like I've always wanted to do that, but I knew that was not going to be my life. So I just like watch them in awe of like their dedication to that and like how they balance. And don't get me wrong, like I love the idea of it, but obviously like I'm a city girl. I live kind of in the suburbs now and I love it. And I don't think I could ever move to a farm. And I don't know if I love to bake and cook, but I don't know about if I'm making everything from scratch. So it's just been really fun to like listen and watch that stuff. I'm really interested into finance right now. And another thing is, I'm not going to show you my messy book pile, but my husband and I love going to, with my daughter, who's 3, we love going to the library book sales or any book sales because we just love books. Like, we might not read them all the time, like, but we'll just like go and get fill the bag. They have these things where you can fill a bag of books. You can fill a bag for $5 and you can get any books you want. And like, so even books that I'm like remotely a little bit interested in that I would have not wanted to spend $16 on, they're here like in my house now. And it's so fun because I can like take them and read them at my leisure. Or if I'm having like, let's have a book reading club or something with my daughter just to get away from screen time or just to have relaxing time, like I can read a book. And like, that's nice. Like, that makes me feel like I'm getting back to me because I grew up loving books. Like, I loved to read. That was like my thing. I used to read all these big biographies and like 700, 800,000 page books. Like, I used to love doing that. And then once I got a phone, like that kind of like slowly dwindled. I did actually buy a Kindle during the pandemic, and then I kind of fell off of that too because, I mean, when do I have time to read a book now as a parent? Like, it's really hard for me to find the time to do that. Okay, sorry, I'm back. My camera died. But what were we talking about? I think we were talking about what I love to do that has nothing to do with Michael Jackson. Yes, so reading is like a fun thing. As a mom, I don't have as much time as I used to read my Kindle. Like, when she was like 6 months, 0 to 6 months, I had all the time in the world because all babies do is just want to be on you and like lay on you and sleep. And that's all they do, and cry, of course. But like, I had my baby carrier and I was good to go. Like, I would just baby wear and then I would read or listen to podcasts or whatever. Now, my recent favorite thing to do is listen to Audible audiobooks. 2 apps that I'm going to tell you about that have been game changers for me. One, Libby. Libby is it's an app that connects you to your local library. So if you have a library card, which should be free if you live in the city or the county, you can connect your library card and access ebooks, magazines, as well as audiobooks for free. You may have to wait, but I want to tell you guys, like last year, I read like 40 or 50 books with between getting like some are ebooks and some as audio. And it was a game changer. I want to show you. Let's see if I can find the books that I held. Let's see if they'll let me. Yeah, I read like so many books last year. So many books. I'll just give you like a little bit of some of the books that I read that I really enjoyed. I told you guys that I'm a big fan of my Peloton. So I have read, sorry, the lighting keeps like going in and out. So hopefully you guys can see me okay. Let's see if I can make it a little brighter. So I read Alex Toussaint. He's an instructor. His book, I read Cody Rigsby's book also. He's also another instructor. I read Swear on This Life, which is a romance by Renee Carlino, which I love that book. It was really sweet. 1,000 Miles to Graceland, which is by Kristen May Chase. That book is really good because it actually got me a little bit more into my Elvis Presley era, which I'm kind of in now, which is funny because I was just telling one of my best friends, like, she's always been a huge Michael fan. We met actually at an event where we were making a banner at the New York Public Library to send to Michael for the trial in 2003. It was like a whole big New York City fan club thing. We sent a banner in support of Michael for fans there to hold up at the trial. Anyway, she has always been like a big Michael fan, but also she was always an Elvis fan. And I was like, not interested. No, thank you. I have an uncle that's an Elvis fan. I was like, no, not interested. My dad was always like, you need to listen to Elvis too. Like, his music's good. Like, why not? Nope. And she was also a big Elvis fan. Still is. She was also a big fan of Lisa Marie and like knew her personally and would go to all her shows and book signings, whatever. So I was telling her, I was like, girl, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, but in the last year, I've read more books and listened to audiobooks more about Elvis Presley than I have about Michael Jackson, just because there have been no new good books, in my opinion, that I haven't read already, and I'm just like digging into this artist now. And I find it fascinating only because there's so much out there. Obviously, he's been dead. He's, been passed away for so many years. But I first saw a movie called Priscilla. It was like on a random work trip. I was coming back from a work trip and they had that as like one of the movies. And, I like retro, vintage, older things. So I was like, I'm going to watch this Priscilla movie. Watch it. And I was like, now I'm interested because that was something. So then I went on my Libby app after that and I was like, let me read the book that this was based on, called Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley. So I read that, or listened to that rather. 100 Ways to Change Your Life by Liz Moody, like the self-help stuff. Glucose Revolution, which is all about like healthy eating, balanced blood sugar stuff. Wanted, Toddler's Personal Assistant, which was also really good. It was a memoir from a girl who was a nanny in like rich, affluent communities in New York City. I read Lisa Marie's book, From Here to the Great Unknown, part of my whole Elvis thing, that I've been reading a lot of the books and listening to a lot of the audiobooks from people that knew him. But hers is especially interesting because she had a marriage with Michael. She didn't share as much as I thought she would, but I did enjoy it. Obviously, she was not able to complete her memoir because she passed away, but her daughter finished it. And her daughter shared some really interesting things, like how Michael would take her and her brother to school with Lisa Marie. And I'm like, Michael did school drop off? Like, I didn't even imagine he was doing that with his own kids. So that was interesting. I read Eve's book, Eve the Rapper, her memoir. The House of My Mother, Sherry Frank. Prince Harry, The Four Agreements, like just so many influenced. I've read so many books this year, and it's been really, really inspiring, and it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something productive as opposed to just like listening to YouTube, which sometimes that's great, but sometimes that gets boring too, you know? Um, but yeah, I've read a lot of books. Um, and so that's been my other interest outside of Michael Jackson, is like getting into another artist. That's always like a phase, you know? But I actually do think that Elvis is interesting, and I also watched um his biopic, and I developed a friendship with some of the girls from those Elvis Girls podcast, and I follow them and I love their posts. And I think there's a lot of parallels between the two estates, especially now that both artists have been gone for quite a while. And so I think it's interesting just to learn from other fandoms, you know? So I'm interested also. Maybe my next artist that I'll look into will be Prince or somebody like that, you know? I think it's just interesting because these are artists that not only have fans from their original days, but they continue to create new excitement amongst new and younger generations. And I think that's so inspiring. So, next question. I know that was long winded, but I was like, you know what? Today's just going to be my day to talk. And if you guys like this video, comment down below and let me know if you like these chatty videos and if you have other questions for me. If you weren't making MJ content, what's another topic you'd love to create a channel about? I don't think I would love to create anything else besides Michael Jackson content. Sorry, this just got so dark. I don't know why. I love my Michael Jackson content that I make. I think that for me, it's just a passion that doesn't go away for me. And I love Michael Jackson and I always will. And I'm very passionate about this. So there's nothing else. I mean, I think I could potentially be like a family vlogger, but I would never do that because I would want to not expose my family to that. I just don't really agree with putting kids online without their consent. And I don't want to like put my relationship on forefront either for people to judge me like we're characters in a book or in a TV show. So those are my thoughts on that. Okay, which Michael Jackson song do you think is overrated by the fan community? That's a good one. Beat It? Okay, next. Because I don't have a real answer for that. Honestly, my least favorite song is Beat It just because I'm not into that whole rock and roll thing. But I love other songs. Like, I love Given to Me and I love Come Together and all that. But Beat It just has never been for me. So I'm going to say that. But I don't think it's overrated because I think it's a great song. I don't really have an answer for that. Comment down below if you have a song that you think is overrated in the fan community. I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then I'll get out of here. Do you feel like the fan community is united or more divided nowadays? I would say divided. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of division, but the thing is though that I really don't indulge in a lot of it. So if you are not familiar, I got locked out of my Twitter account and I haven't been on it since. I could probably try to get back on. But I haven't been on it in like almost a year and I feel great about it. Well, not a year, maybe 6 months. I feel great about it. Like, I don't miss it at all. I don't have the app. Instagram is another one that I recently got rid of because I just feel like, what's the point? As a fan who's been a fan for a long time, but also when I became a fan, I was also a new fan. I made it a mission when I created this channel to embrace all fans, whether they started liking Michael Jackson yesterday or 20 years ago. I just feel like what unites us is our love of Michael. But now there's so much going on. There's like the biopic stuff. There's the estate. There's like some people have opinions about Michael's family, about Michael's kids, about posthumous projects. Like, some people that like hate MJ1 and hate the musical. I'm like, hate Xscape, hate the Michael album, which is warranted, but I just don't really have those strong feelings. Like, I am someone that generally supports most projects as long as they're like, I think, promoting him in like a mostly positive light. So I think people are divided about that kind of stuff because we just can't seem to all get on the same page about those things, which is like fine. I think a lot of people were divided when he was alive too, for various reasons. So you're never gonna get people on the same page. But on my channel and in my socials, I feel like that's very controlled. I feel like we are really great at like having discourse, and the comment section is really, really open. People are really open to exchanging ideas and stuff. And so I love communicating with you guys. And I don't feel like it's divided amongst the people that watch me. And if it is, it's in a respectful way. So it's not really bothersome. Okay. Last two questions. Do you think Michael's posthumous albums like Xscape or Michael should have been released, or should his vault have stayed private? I think they should have been released. Like, I think Xscape was great. And if you watch the episode or you listen to the episode previously that I did with Randall earlier this summer about the Xscape album, it was a really good episode. We like dug deep into like the production and like some of our favorite songs, some of the promotion. I think it was good. Like, I loved listening to Michael on the radio, and I put some of those songs like in rotation with other Michael songs that he actually approved to come out. Like, so I think it's great. Michael was a mistake because everything was overshadowed by those fake songs, which is like, I can't even do it. People are like, oh, can you do an episode on the Michael album? I'm like, why? There's so much out there about it. It's not even real. But comment below if you want me to get into the mess with that, because I could. I think Randall would enjoy chatting about that one too. Okay. And then, do you feel, have you ever gotten pushback or criticism for being such a MJ dedicated fan? How do you deal with people that don't understand it? I used to argue on the internet when I was much younger. Like, now I don't care. I just hate to say that, but I just actually don't care at all. Like, I don't care what people think about my fandom or any of that. I used to be so much more involved, like mentally, would be invested emotionally into what people would say on the internet about me and about my thoughts and the appearance of me being obsessed and all that. And I don't care anymore. Like, to me, the people that are hating are only hating because they don't understand what it feels like to have a passion in life. And people that don't have a passion in life, frankly, or an interest, kind of scare me. Like, what do you do in your free time if you don't have a passion or an interest? Like, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? Like, even if your passion or interest is something as simple as, being in like sewing. If your passion or interest is like a certain genre of movies, if your passions or interests are exercise or motherhood or fatherhood or like whatever, like what is art, drawing, photography, like it doesn't have to be an artist, but like if you don't have any passion at all, I'm like side-eyeing because I'm like, the people that I know that don't have a passion at all are the people that don't understand the interest in like an artist or like a hobby. And I think that's weirder than my healthy interest in Michael Jackson. And I will say it's healthy. That's another thing. I think I used to feel very like not confident about it in my younger years because I felt like I was so alone in it. But that's the beauty of a community. And Michael Jackson brought so many people together. I feel like I brought people together on this channel. And so many people, like even at the events, people will come up to me and be like, hey, like MJ Fangirl, like this meant a lot to me, this video that you made, or I watch your videos every week. I watch this video of yours to go to sleep every night, somebody has told me. So like that means a lot. And how could I be ashamed of something that has brought me joy? I've met some of my best friends through being a Michael Jackson fan. I felt a sense of community when I didn't feel like I was a part of anything in high school. I was part of the drama club, but I wasn't taking that seriously as an actor, and I didn't really take it seriously either. I wasn't a part of any sports. I never did any sports, dance, anything like that, really, that I could say that I was a part of a community. Michael Jackson is the reason why I have a lot of my friends. Michael Jackson is the reason why I met my husband. We met on the Michael Jackson AOL chat room in our teenage years a long time ago. So yeah, like I've been afforded a lot of amazing opportunities, and living in California has also been really great for being a part of the fan community, because there's so many people that are like, got Michael Jackson stories around here, and this is where he lived for so much of his life. And yeah, so that I think is my answer for that. And then let me see if I have one last question here. I think I've answered everything, you guys. I think I've answered everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm looking, and it's going to be like a 40-minute chatty long video. But comment below. Like, let me know if you guys feel any certain way about anything that I said, if you agree with something, if you disagree, if you've been enjoying the content lately from this, like, historian era. This is something that I'm doing right now. Who knows, next year might be different, but I'm so much enjoying this right now. And I think it's important also, one more thing to say, back to the historian thing. It's important because the biopic is going to come out, and we know that it's not going to be full of complete truths. It's going to be full of half-truths and things that are going to be blown out of proportion in a wrong timeline, and there's got to be someone around that can help. Like, when people are looking up what's the real story, they can come to MJ Fangirl. They can go to a lot of the other Michael Jackson channels out there. And yeah, so that's kind of like my point of doing this right now. And thank you guys for your questions. Thank you guys for your support. Make sure that if you're subscribed on the podcasts, make sure that you follow the show also on YouTube, so you can get the full experience of like the vlogs and stuff, because those are only posted on YouTube. And follow me on Facebook. You guys, I have over 60K subscribers on Facebook. Followers, I mean. It's wild. I post a lot of interview clips from the show, but also like some fun stuff that have to do with just like old memories of Michael or old video clips of him performing. So I think you'll enjoy that. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm not as much on there, but that will change, I'm sure. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this chatty video, and leave me comments below. What else do you want to see for the rest of the year? Because I've got some things up my sleeve, but not too many things. Because I still want to hear what you guys want to see. So comment down below, and thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next time. Bye.